So hi guys and welcome to the channel. My name's Al Mitchell. There is very few things more satisfying than making your own sausages, and what I'm going to show you today is a really simple guide that will give you lots of tips, little tricks and things that will make your life so much easier when you make your own sausages at home. So let me show you how. So first you're going to need some meat. So I went to my local butcher and asked them for the trimmers that they use to make their sausages, and I got about 5 kilos for about 35 quid. Now for this batch of sausages I only need half of that, so I'm going to weigh that out, making careful note of how much it does weigh. Then I'm going to cut it into nice thin strips, put it into a tray and then put it into the freezer for 20 minutes. This will let it grind a lot easier. If you're new to sausage making, I recommend that you buy some pre-done mix. It makes life a lot easier, but you will have to do a little bit of maths, and I love maths, so I'm going to talk you through it nice and easy. So because we are using less meat than the mix is intended to be used with, we need to work out not only the amount of mix that we need for our meats, but also how much water we need to add. So we need to work this out basically on the proportion of the current bag and its mix. So the bag itself is 681 grams. That's intended to be used with 3,291 grams of meat, and you're meant to add 797 grams of water to that mix and to that meat. So if we divide one by the other, it tells us the percentage of mix to meat ratio. If we then apply that percentage to the amount of meat that we're using, it will give us exactly how much mix we need for that 2,500 grams of meat. In this case is 517 grams. So you've got that first figure. That's how much mix you need for the amount of meat you got. Next we need to work out how much water we need for the amount of mix and amount of meat that we've got. So it's a very similar calculation again. So for the entire bag of mix we were going to use 797 grams of water, and remember it's 3,291 grams of meat. So from that we can then work out how much water we need to add to our meat and our mix. So our total meat is to 2,501 grams. Then we times that by the 24%, and that tells us that we need to add 600, can't read my own writing there, 600 grams of water. There you go, perfect. Here's the calculation in full. You can pause this bit of the video, go through it in your own time, but hopefully me going through the steps will make life a little bit easier for you. So now the meat's had 20 minutes in the freezer, it should be really nice and firm. You should be able to mince this properly. So I'm using a medium die today, and I'm just going to pass it through once. I quite like a nice cool sausage, and as you can see this has got a really nice grind on it. It's got a good mix of both meat and fat. You could pass it through again, but I'm quite happy with this nice coarse ground. So because we've already done the maths, we know exactly how much mix we need to weigh out. So weigh that out and then just distribute it throughout the meat. I like to give it quite a nice decent mix to begin with, start to incorporate that throughout the meat. We're going to add the water in a second. Again, we've already worked that out. And I just find this works really well because you want to get that mix distributed throughout all the meat really evenly. Now when it comes to actually mixing, the best technique I found is almost like a scrunching technique, just like pushing your fingers through it. This helps bind all the protein in the meat, and that's what you want. You want the sausage to be really sticky. It's going to look like this, and the test is that you put it on your hand, squish it, and then it pretty much holds there. Now if it is too hot at this point, you can put it back in the freezer for 10 minutes, but this was perfect for me. It did it really nice and quickly, so I'm going to put it straight in my sausage stuffer. Now when you put it in, you've got to get out all the air. So that first one I lobbed in hard, and then the subsequent ones, when I put it in, I then ram it in. I'm trying to get out as much air as possible. This is going to help you when you're doing your casing. So that's full up. That's as much I'm going to put in. So I then put this back into the sausage mixer. Now I use a large metal tray, and basically whenever I'm making my sausages, it comes out in this tray. Keeps everything nice and neat. Now when it comes to casing, these are the casings I buy. I will leave a link in the description. So these are being cured in salt. There's 3 things you need to do. Firstly, rinse the salt from the outside of the casing. Then find the end and then run some water all the way through. This will help clear the salt out of the middle. And then finally, to get a teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda, add that to some water, leave the casings in overnight, and they will be so much pliable and they make your life so much easier. So I always leave the casings in the water, just help that bit of moisture helps the casing, again, goes on really nice and easy with that bicarbonate of soda trick. Now, when you're sliding it on, keep the casing in the center of the horn. So the reason you want to do that is that when you're forming your sausage, if you twisted it or if to one side, then it will make the actual sausage come out a lot more difficult. So this is just a really nice easy way of making life a lot simpler. So when it comes to using the sausage stuffer, the main tip I would tell you is to keep pressure on the bottom of the actual sausage, and then as you're cranking, it's the meat that's forcing the casing out and forming the sausage. Now, if you want me to show you any other techniques, please let me know in the comments what you would like me to show you. But once you've formed your sausage, I'll then show you how I like to actually form the individual sausages. Now, you can form individual sausages as you go if you like, but the reason I like to do a single link and then twist is that if you've overpacked your sausage, this allows you to move some of the mix further down, and then it allows you to pinch to form a gap that you can then twist to form your sausage. If you do it this way, twist the smaller part of the link rather than the rest of the sausage link, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's done. Looking absolutely fantastic. So if you're liking this video, don't forget to give it the old thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe as well so you don't miss any future videos. And if you've got any questions or if you want to see me cook anything in particular, please leave a comment down below. Now put your sausages on the drying rack and put them in the fridge. This allows the casing to dry out and all those herbs and spices to rehydrate and really incorporate through the sausage meat. So it's the very next day. These have been in the fridge overnight. You can see they look all beautiful and plump. Then casings are dried off. That's going to help you get a really kind of nice snap to your sausage. So the only thing left to do with these is separate them, back seal them. We're going to obviously cook a couple just to see how we did, but these look amazing. So now those are all snipped up and I've made my sausage mountain. I've always wanted to do that. I'm sorry, Chud, I know it's yours, but I've always wanted to do that. But now I've made sausage mountain, it's time to vac seal these up. Now while I do that, I'm going to put a couple of these in the oven. We're going to cook them off and just show you how amazing these have turned out. Now after 10 minutes in the air fryer, these are looking absolutely beautiful. That casing looks stunning. Got a beautiful golden colour on there. Casings look really nice. It looks really plump. I'm in a rage not forget, but these look absolutely amazing. Now that just looks like it needs to be eaten. Give it a snap. Oh, look at that. Now look how juicy that looks. So let's give it a go. You got the snap of the casing, you got the beautiful herbs, the apple and the pulp all working perfectly together. It's juicy, tender and moist. What can be better than that? Well, I'll tell you what might be a little bit better. How about dry aging your own beef at home to come out with the most amazing steaks? If you want that, sounds good. Watch this video and I'll show you how you can do that at home. But until the next video, take care of yourselves and I'll see you real soon.